we should inshallah continue. As we said in this session, we will go with the components of SAQF or SAQF, the elements of SAQF, and we will spend some time in the elements, and the level descriptors of SAQF, and hopefully we will be able to cover this in this session, or we will just postpone it to the next session, inshallah. As we said, the components, or on what we can apply SAQF, is on two things: the awarding body, which is the institutions, and the qualification, which are the programs. So I can apply SAQF either here or here. The application here means I can register. I can use the registration standards for an institution or for a qualification. And we will deal with registration or this process in the third session, inshallah. Now we will move to the elements of any framework. As I said in the beginning, any framework, if I'm talking about framework, I'm talking about three things. I'm talking about the levels, talking about the time or hours, I'm talking about the learning outcomes, or in a broad meaning, the learning domains. So any framework has three elements. What are they? Number one, the levels. In any framework, you will find levels. What are levels? Levels are numbers which are linked to the qualification titles and describe the increasing intellectual demand and complexity of learning expected as students progress to higher academic levels. So when I'm going up, the level of complexity of learning outcomes increase, and thus the level number increase. And this is a common thing in any framework. Okay? The hours, the hour describes the amount of work or volume of learning expected for the academic hours, or for the academic unit, or for the academic program. Yes?
About levels, we said that the complexity will increase. So is it about like bachelor, master's, PhD?
Yes, yes, yes. This is what meant by, this is the other name of the levels. However, they don't tend to call it master, PhD, bachelor. They always call it like level 7, level 10, level 8, because you will find many levels without names. Okay, so
Some levels was named level 10, something written doctor.
yes, yes. Some levels was has some names, like level 10, as you said, is doctora or PhD. Level 9 is master. However, you'll find many levels without names, like level 4, for example, doesn't have a name. Okay, level 3, they just say it is, as you will see after a while anyway, high school diploma or something like this. Learning of domains, domains of learning. This is the broad categories of type of learning outcomes that the program is intended to develop. We are familiar with the learning domains. The term of learning domain we are familiar with because it is in the old NQF. The NQF, how many learning domains do we have? The old NQF. No, 5. 5 learning domains. Okay, remember them? The knowledge, the cognitive skills, interpersonal skills, psychomotors, and communication. These are the learning domain of the old NQF. We will see what's going on here with the new. Any framework, 3 things: levels, hours, and domains. So if we apply this on the SAQF, we will talk about levels. What about levels in NQF? SAQF or SAQF has 10 levels. It is a comprehensive system. So it's coming from very down to primary school until the PhD. And this is in 10 level. This is one feature of SAQF. So it is comprehensive, it is integrated from level 1 primary school to level 10, which is the PhD or doctorate. Okay? And whatever in between, it is in between. Each level has a general description, and we will see this description in the third part of this session, which is called the level descriptors. This description describing the level of complexity or the complexity of learning outcomes which is in this level or which bring the qualification to this level. These levels, you can consider them as a tool to classify the qualification according to numbers. So this qualification, because it reaches to this level of complexity of learning outcomes, it is bought in this level. Okay? So SAQF has 10 levels. Level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. This is the classification. However, if we talk about level 1, 2, and 3, you can put them under general education, primary, middle school, and senior school or high school, or whatever you want to say. Okay? From level 3 to level 7, this is technical and vocational learning. And this is a good thing, actually, to connect. That's why it is an integrated system, to connect the technical education with the general education, with the higher education, and the student can transfer from each level to another level inside the cycle. From level 7, or from level 5, actually, it's according to the name, until level 10, this is high or higher education. This is what we are here in the universities. So universities can give from level 5 until level 10. Okay? We will end with something like this. This is the official logo for the levels of SAQF. You will see general education, technical and vocational education, higher education from level 5 is called, they are calling it associate diploma, and then level 6 is a diploma. Level 7 is a bachelor. Level 8 is a higher diploma. Level 9 is a master, and level 10 is a doctorate. It's very nice to know that we can give levels in the universities below level 7. This open tracks, open exit points, as we will tell after a while. We can put our students to other levels than level 7, because some students find getting from level 3, which is the high school, to level 7 directly is very hard. And that's why the bachelor degree always takes so much time, 4 years at least. Why? Because the going from level 3 complexity to level 7 complexity will always take so much time, because there's so many things I have to give to the students to be able to be bought in this. Some students cannot have this, so I can put him in level 5 or level 6 according to his capabilities. So this is a good thing to know, and this is a new thing which was not found in the QF. In QF starts from above the high school until the doctorate, 6 levels only. Okay, so this is what about the levels. 10 levels, very comprehensive. Okay, connect together high school with original education, with vocational education, with higher education together. I can transfer very easily now because I will know the level of complexity of learning outcome required for each level. Hours. So levels, hours, domain of learning. 3 things. We finished levels. We are going to hours, and we will spend some time in the hours. In the NQF, or in our system now, how can we describe the time allocated for learning? Using what hour? What's the name of the hour? Credit hour. using the credit hour system. Yes? Credit hour system is for describing the amount of time which is required to fulfill this learning outcome. We are now using the credit hour. Yes? What is a credit hour?
Program level, we have to finish set on like one particular master level.
No, again, please. Raise your voice. Tell me.
For each program, we have a certain number of credit hours.
Very well.
Then for each course, we have
For each program, we have certain type of credit hours. For each course, we will have certain number of credit hours. However, what is a credit hour? Time.
The number of hours weekly we should do.
The number of hours we should do weekly for each course. For example, if I say that I have a course of 2 credit hours, what does this mean?
2 hours weekly.
So I have to do
2 hours per week.
2 hours per week teaching, lecturing. That's right? 2 hours for theoretical. Not exactly.
Sometimes we talk about 2 concepts actually, contact hours and credit hours.
Good.
And many times they are not equal.
Very well. So Doctor now raise another concept, which is contact hours. So what are the contact hours? Now we are going to somewhere.
between teacher and student, like lecture.
The action between teacher and students. Very well. Okay. For example, if I have a course which is 1 plus 1. 1 theoretical plus 1 practical. How many hours should I give to the students? 3 hours. Why? Because 1 for theoretical and 2. So 1 credit hour for practical is contacted as 2. This is the contact hour. Okay, this is the meaning of contact hour. So when the credit hour is more than 1 hour because it's practical or training, we will use the term contact hours. That's right? 1 plus 1, so I have to give the student 3 hours if it is practical. But what about if it is training? I have to give the student 4 hours because it will be counted as 3 in the training or in the tutorials in the training. Yes.
Sorry, what is the logic to count it like 1 plus 1 is 3?
There's no logic here. Well, when 1 plus 1 equals 2, yes. But because I said 1 theoretical plus 1 practical, in the bylaws or in the university laws, when I say practical, 1 credit hour practical equals 2 hours in contact. 1 credit hour training or tutorials equal to 3 hours in contact.
It's just saying or actually
They're actually there.
spend 3 hours?
Spent. When I have to contact with the student for 2 hours to say I made 1 credit hour. This is weekly. For how many weeks? 15 weeks. Okay? So the credit hour, it is in the NQF, saying that I have to contact with students for 50 minutes if I'm getting 1 credit hour theoretical, and 2 50 minutes, which is 100 minutes, if I'm giving practical, and 3 50 minutes, which is 150 minutes, if I'm giving training or tutorials. This is the definition or whatever what we know as a credit hour. That's why I always say it's 1, 2 plus 1, 2. Why I'm saying this? Because I have to differentiate between the theoretical hours and the practical hours. Okay? So 2 plus 1, 3 plus 1, whatever. This is the name of credit hour. However, credit hours are a good system. Yes, it is a good system. However, it does not say anything about the workload of a student which he will or she will give for this subject or for this course. This workload is not only in the classroom. This workload is not only in the contact hours. It's not only in the contact. There is some hidden workload behind this. For example, you give the student an assignment. The student gives some time for your course or your subject at home, making this assignment. Okay? You give the student an exam. The student spend some time doing your exam and spend some time preparing for your exam. Small projects, any type of activity you give the students, any type of time the students spend, even for memorizing or studying your lecture, all this workload should be counted. All this workload should be counted. This is easy. To tell the students this is the amount of workload needed for my program, for my courses, I should tell or I should calculate the amount of time spent for everything by the students. And this is from where we have the term, the learning hours. Now we have another term, credit hours, contact hours, which are connected with the credit hours. And now we have the learning hours. So the learning hours are the time, or refer to the time and effort required by the learner to fulfill all the learning outcomes. So any activity you give to the students, you have to put down the time required by the student, not by you, by the student to fulfill this part or to fulfill this activity. This is the term learning hour.
It's very difficult to count the hours because I give some students it will take, for example, for him half hour, but for the another student it will take 2 hours.
So yes, I will say that's right. And you always count for the average students. This is normal, okay? And from your point of view, okay, I will say that my students in this assignment, it will take something like 2 hours for him to complete this assignment at home. Some students will take more, some will take, yes, but it will be like an average. And it will be like a speculation from you. You know your course, you know how much effort the student has to do for your course. You know. So you have to put down some kind of speculation about this time. We will see now. Okay, learning hours involve all learning activities required to fulfill the qualification successfully, including teaching hours, self-learning, exam preparation, training programs, whatever. Whatever you think the student needs a time, you have to give or you have to put down. Okay, how to calculate this learning hour? Before calculating, we will say that SAQF uses the learning hour concept, not using the credit hours. The learning hour is having the credit hour beside the other activities, so it counts also the credit hour inside it. SAQF says, and this is verbal really, not written anywhere, but this is verbal, that any program should not have less than 4,100 learning hours. 4,100 learning hour program. Okay? If you take that,
For me, for example, for calculus 2, it's 4 credit hours.
yes.
How many will be learning?
Yeah, that's one. I'm continuing. Give me a minute, please. If you said that normally the bachelor degrees will be always around 120, 130 credit hours, okay? So we will, if you make the calculations, you will see that 1 credit hour is always around 30 to 35 learning hours, maybe something like this. So 4-hour course can take something around, yes, 120 learning hour. If, yes, this is the average. I will say the average of a course which is 3 credit hours, something else from 90 to 100, 110 learning hours, something like this.
That means 4 credit hours, I should multiply it with 15 weeks. And
No, learning hours in all the weeks.
I know, but weekly,
Yes. Not,
120.
no, how come 120 weekly? It is in the it is in the semester.
4 multiplied with 50, it's 15, it's the approximate 60, okay? 60, and if I have 4 credit hours, I should have 8 learning hours. weekly,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, I did not calculate, you make the calculation. Anyway, we will go through the calculations now. That's why I'm saying, give me a small time, and after the whole calculation, if it's not clear, we can go together, inshallah. Okay? So by definition, so I'll go now, how can we calculate the learning hours, okay? By definition, the learning hours include all activities, from the credit hours, the practical, everything down to the time for preparation or time for quizzes. First of all, I should make, as an instructor, I should make a list for all activities I need the student to do in my course. All the activities I need the student to do in my course. I have to make some kind of a list. Okay? After making this list, I have to fulfill the table which I will show you after now. This table have the activity and the time needed for activity and the frequency of this activity during the 15 weeks. Example, this is the number one, I made a list of my activities. Okay, this is the activities I will do. Lecture, practical, quiz, preparation for quiz, assignment, any other things, whatever you want to do. The man said, okay, this is what I have. Then he have to fulfill this table there. Have a look on this table. You will see that time needed for the activity. For example, for a lecture, it is 2 credit hours, so I need 2 hours. Multiplied by how many in the frequency in 15 weeks, I will repeat this once every week. So I need it 15 times, so 15. So the total number of actual learning hour will be 2 multiplied by 15 equals 30. 2, this is a 2 credit hour course, 2 plus 0. See the title up. 15, I repeat this lecture every week. I have 30, okay? This is 2 plus 0. For the labs, I don't have labs because it's 0. So 0 and 0. Quizzes, I will have 2 quizzes, okay? I will have a quiz. Each quiz will take 2 hours. Just put in, okay. The frequency, I have only 2 quizzes, one in week 13 and one in week 3 and one in week 12, for example. I have 2 quizzes. Each quiz takes 2 hours, so I need 4 hours for that. For the preparation of quiz, I will say that my student will take 10 hours to prepare for 1 quiz. I have 2 quizzes. This is 20. Assignments, I will say that my student will take 6 hours to prepare to do my assignment. I have 2 assignments in the semester, okay? So I need 12 hours for this. Any other things, you can specify the final exam, for example. The final exam is 2 hours. It will be done for once in the semester, so the student need 2 hours. Preparation of the final exam, the student needs something like 10 hours to prepare for the final exam. It's done once, so it is another 10 hours. Midterm, the same thing. The time of the exam and the preparation of the exam. Everything the student do for my subject or for my course should be counted here. At the end, I will say that my subject has 66 learning hours. Yes?
Seems there is an overlap, like the quiz time it's taken during the lecture.
Very nice. Many quizzes are taken during the lecture. If taken during the lecture, don't put it here. In my college, for example, I have an allocated time for quizzes from 8 to 8:30, that's right? Yes? Or from 7:30 to 8. We have allocated time for quizzes. If I have allocated time for quizzes, I have to calculate it here. But if you do the quiz inside your lecture, don't calculate it. Don't calculate the time of the quiz. Okay? But for example, the final exam, it is not in the lectures. So you have to calculate the time of the exam and the time for preparation. The student do the preparation for the exam, you have to put it here as well. Okay? After I'm doing this thing here, I have to fulfill this table in the course specification. This is the table, so this is the course specification, the new course specification of NCAA 2018. You will find this table there. You will find always up here the contact hours, as Dr. here said, she said. This is related to whatever related to the credit hours. So the lectures and the practical, this is related to the credit hours. And down here you can see here the learning hours. And this is the other activities which you did in the other table. Just take it out and put the numbers here. So study, assignment, library, projects, whatever, put whatever you want to put here according to you, and then calculate at the end what is the, here, the learning hours. He needs the learning hours. This table you will find in the new course specification. Of course, you all know that we have to fulfill the new course specification from this semester, inshallah. Yeah? This is done. So all the course specification is done. We have to fulfill new course specifications 2018 starting from this semester. Okay? You will find this table there. With learning hour. So you have to know what is the concept of learning hour to be able to fulfill or to put something here in this table. You will find so many things which is very strange. Now to practice. Before practice. People who are familiar with the program specification. You will find this part here in the new program specification. Okay? Many people of the quality assurance will find this here. This is the first part of the program specification, by the way. Number 4 here, you will find credit hours or contact hours. Number 5, you will find the learning hours. So he always want to know what are the credit hours for the program, 120, 130, not more, not less than that. And the learning hours, for example, 4,500 learning hours for the whole program. This is the program specification, not the course specification. This is the program specification. Okay? This is the activity. In your booklets, you will find these 2 tables. Okay? Pick one of your subjects. Okay? Do it now. But, for example, this subject is 2 + 1 credit hours. Both the credit hours, both the contact hours, and and calculate the learning hours. And then fulfill the table of the course specification. You will find it in the next page. This is training number 2 in your booklet. We will take 10 minutes in this. And if we have troubles, please ask during. Okay? So choose one subject, fulfill the first table, calculating the learning hours, and fulfill the second table, which is belonging to the course specification, putting what you calculated in the table, inshallah.